I didn't find the second phone by accident. I noticed the silence first. My wife used to leave her phone everywhere, on the kitchen counter, on the couch, sometimes even in the bathroom while she was getting ready in the morning. It was normal for years. I never thought about it. It was just part of our life. Then one day it stopped. Her phone was always with her, always face down, always locked. She even started taking it with her when she walked from the kitchen to the bedroom. At first I thought it was nothing. People change habits, but habits don't change overnight. Something causes them to change. Something happens first, then behavior follows. I didn't ask her anything. I didn't want to sound paranoid. I didn't want to create a problem that maybe didn't exist. But after a few days, I started noticing other small things. She stopped charging her phone near the bed. For years, she always placed it on the nightstand. Now, she charged it in the hallway, sometimes even in the kitchen. I asked her once why she moved it. She answered quickly. She said the cable near the bed was broken. I checked it the next morning. It wasn't broken. That was the first lie I noticed. Not a big lie, but still a lie. And once you notice one lie, you start seeing more things differently. A week later, she began going to the grocery store more often. Same store, same time, same evening every week. At first, I didn't think much about that either, but the fridge was already full, and what she brought home didn't match the receipts she left on the table. Some items were missing. Some items never appeared in the kitchen at all. It looked like she stopped somewhere else before coming home. One night she returned almost 40 minutes later than usual. I asked what happened. She said the line at the store was long. The next day I went to the same store after work. The cashier told me evenings were usually quiet. That answer stayed in my head longer than I expected. Then something even stranger happened. She began keeping her jacket near the entrance instead of hanging it inside the closet. It looked like she didn't want to spend time walking through the apartment after coming home, like she wanted quick movement, quick entry, quick exit. And one evening, I noticed something else. She opened the small drawer near the entrance when she thought I was asleep on the couch. I only saw the reflection in the dark television screen. She opened the drawer slowly, looked inside, then closed it again. That drawer had nothing important in it. Old batteries, old keys, receipts from years ago. Nobody touched that drawer anymore, except her, and only at night. The next morning I opened the drawer. Everything looked normal. Old batteries were still there. Old keys were still there. Receipts were still there. Nothing new appeared inside, but I knew what I saw the night before. She checked something in that drawer, something that wasn't supposed to be visible during the day. I closed the drawer and said nothing. I didn't want to confront her yet. Once confrontation starts, observation ends, and I still needed to understand what exactly was happening. For the next few days I watched carefully. She continued going to the store every evening at the same time. She continued keeping her phone face down. She continued charging it away from the bedroom. Nothing changed except one detail. She started locking the bathroom door when she took showers. She never did that before. We lived together for years, and she never locked that door. Now she locked it every evening. That meant she was protecting something, or someone. 3 days later she left again at the same time. Grocery store evening again. Same routine again. The moment the door closed behind her, I walked to the hallway drawer immediately. I opened it slowly, and this time I saw it. A phone I had never seen before. It wasn't new, it wasn't broken, it wasn't hidden carefully either. It was placed inside the drawer like something temporary, like something she planned to take back later that night. My hands were shaking when I picked it up. Not because I already understood everything, but because I knew I was about to understand everything. The screen turned on immediately. No password, no lock. That detail alone told me more than anything else. Nobody keeps a secret phone unlocked unless they believe nobody else will ever touch it. The screen showed only 3 apps: messages, photos, calls, nothing else. No social media, no browser, no games, just communication, just connection, just someone important enough to deserve a separate phone. I opened the messages slowly. There was only one conversation, only one contact saved inside the phone. Just a single letter, the letter M. No full name, no explanation, just one letter. I opened the conversation and began reading from the top. At first the messages looked normal, short sentences, simple timing, simple plans, same evenings, same hours, same pattern repeating again and again. But the more I read, the more I understood this was not new. This was routine. The messages were never long. They were never emotional. They were never detailed. They were short and precise, like instructions, like coordination between 2 people who already understood each other without explanations. I kept scrolling through the conversation slowly. Every message looked similar. Same time tomorrow, same place tonight. I will be late today. I can stay longer tomorrow. It didn't sound like co-workers. It didn't sound like friends. It sounded like people who met regularly without anyone knowing. Then I reached a message from 2 weeks earlier. She wrote she could not stay long that evening. The answer came seconds later. He wrote that he didn't care how long she stayed. He only wanted to see her. That sentence changed everything. It was not neutral. It was not casual. It was personal. It was emotional. It was something nobody writes to a colleague. I opened the photos next. There were only 2 pictures saved in the phone memory. Both were taken inside a car. Both were taken at night. Neither showed his face clearly, but both showed her hand holding someone else's hand on the center console between the seats. That detail alone was enough. This was not imagination anymore. This was not suspicion anymore. This was evidence. I looked at the call history next. Only one number appeared there. The same contact, the same letter, M calls, almost every evening. Always around the same time she went to the store. Always short calls, never long conversations, just signals, just confirmation, just coordination before meetings. I understood something important at that moment. The grocery store was never the destination. It was only the excuse. I placed the phone back exactly where I found it, closed the drawer carefully, sat down on the couch and waited. When she returned home that evening, she looked exactly the same as always. Same smile, same voice, same calm expression. She asked how my evening was. I answered normally. She walked into the kitchen and started preparing dinner like nothing had changed. That was the moment I understood something worse than the messages themselves. She was not nervous. She was not afraid. She was confident. Confidence means she believed I would never find out. Confidence means this routine had existed long enough to become normal for her. I did not confront her that night. I did not confront her the next day either. Instead, I waited, because I still didn't know who M was, and I needed to understand that before saying anything. 3 days later, she left for the shower in the evening. I was sitting in the living room pretending to watch television. Then I heard a vibration sound from the hallway drawer. The second phone. A message arrived. I walked to the drawer slowly and opened it. The screen was still glowing. Same contact, same single letter. I opened the message immediately. It said something simple. He wrote he thought I was starting to notice something. That message changed everything instantly. Until that moment, I believed they were careful. I believed they were confident because they thought they were safe. But now I understood something else. They were watching me, too. They were thinking about me. They were adjusting their behavior because of me. That meant this situation was already moving into a different stage. I kept reading the conversation below that message. Then I saw her answer. She wrote that she would be more careful. She wrote that I trusted her. She wrote that I would never check the drawer. That sentence stayed in my head longer than any other message I read that evening. She trusted that I trusted her. That trust was the reason she believed she was safe. And that trust was the reason I was standing there holding the second phone in my hands.